I want to bring in now political and social impact strategist Kristal Knight and former Texas state legislator, founder of the Patriot Academy. That's Rick Green. It's good to have you both again. That was just kind of a funny moment, maybe disrespectful to some. Kristal, let's start with you because I've always heard that when the team doesn't listen to the coach anymore, it's time to change the coach. Are we at that point with Dr. Fauci?
No, we're absolutely not. Republicans need to stop playing with Dr. Fauci. This is a man who has over 35 years of, medical experience working with infectious diseases. And to have a Senate hearing where he's talking about his finances, where Senator Rand Paul is talking about, or he's having to show Senator Rand Paul messages where he's, getting threats on his life and he's fundraising off of the attacks of him. They are literally playing with him while he's trying to direct this country through this pandemic, this epidemic, and we're reduced to finances and fundraising emails about personal attacks against him. And so I think he's right to push back. He was caught on a hot mic, and maybe that's not the most politically correct thing to be heard stating, but really this comes down to, Senate Republicans need to focus on the main thing and stop with all of this circus politics that they're doing.
Rick, the Republicans haven't made it easy for him, and he's been, I guess, successfully made the face of this pandemic, right or wrong. Have they been too hard on him?
Hey, Joe, good to be back. I think the one thing Kristal and I might agree on is that political science should not replace actual science. And that's what Dr. Fauci has allowed to happen here because he's refused to allow input and debate and robust discussion and alternative views. If you disagree with Anthony Fauci, he dismisses you, demeans you, and tries to destroy you. We now know from his emails, he tried to do that not just to people like Senator Paul and others, but to actual really credentialed scientists from Harvard and Stanford and Oxford, anybody that disagreed, he wanted them destroyed. And that created this environment of no debate, which created the worst, this is not an exaggeration, this is absolutely accurate, worst non-military public policy unmitigated disaster in the history of mankind. This man has caused more damage than anyone in the history of our nation because he lied about the facts, he lied about the science, and he manipulated the American people with fear. So I disagree with Kristal that we shouldn't play with Dr. Fauci. We should question Dr. Fauci, and nothing should be off the table here. The guy has ruined so many lives. It's amazing.
Kristal.
Here's the thing, question the science, which is what you just stated, Rick. I think that we have to get back to that. But that Senate hearing that we both just saw was about his finances. What does that have to do with science? What does that have to do with ushering the American public into a greater level of handling this pandemic, making sure that, as many Americans that have already passed, unfortunately, don't pass. Instead, we're continuing to be reduced to threats about him, threats on his credibility, as opposed to threats about what we can do to get out of this pandemic.
Yeah, well, we tried questioning for a couple of years now, questioning the science, and that wasn't allowed.
So if it doesn't work, you just do personal attacks? So if that doesn't work, you just do personal attacks?
You're kicked off. So if you're silenced, then there's something underneath, and that's what they're getting at next. If you can't allow people to question your science, why? Like, what's the reason that it's so myopic? That's why they're starting to say, do you have a financial reason for doing these things?
Let's listen to a little more of the exchange with Senator Rand Paul. Kristal will get your comment after this.
You are making a catastrophic epidemic for your political gain. So the
you have politically attacked your colleagues and in a politically reprehensible way attacked their reputations.
Okay,
you won't defend it. You won't argue it. You'll just simply turn around the attack.
Kristal, I mean, you do wonder. This got a little ugly yesterday, and we're used to seeing it with Senator Paul, but it felt like something was different yesterday. It felt like Fauci was maybe almost even at his breaking point.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, he stated that he's had personal threats on his life. He also referenced that there was a young man or man who was driving across the country with an AR-15 and 10 magazines in his car to kill him and the president. That is the most ludicrous and ridiculous thing ever, and it's being fueled by dangerous rhetoric, like what Rand Paul is putting up on his website and fundraising. He literally had the receipts, if you will, about what the Republicans are trying to do to attack not only his character and his credibility, but his person and his family. And that there's no room for that in public discourse. There's no room for that when we're trying to get past this pandemic.
We all agree on that, Kristal. Rick, I'll give you the last 10 seconds. We got to go.
Yeah, just say he's at the breaking point because he's lied so many times and the truth is coming out now. He's been wrong about masks, wrong about the vaccines. Just watch the way his terminology has changed as the evidence comes out and he's proven wrong over and over and over again.
Right.
People need to stop listening to this man. He is not the best advisor for our country by far.
We're going to leave it there. Political and social impact strategist Kristal Knight and founder of the Patriot Academy, Rick Green. Great to have you both again. Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
So here's a
Thank
question.
you.